Hello, and welcome to another Honest Slime Review. I'm Nova, and this is Sterling Nova Slimes. Today, I'll be reviewing another famous slime shop, Slime Fantasies. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. I ordered this package as a part of their Black Friday sale. They had an amazing buy two get one free deal that I couldn't resist, and free shipping if you spent over $100. All of the slimes I purchased were between $12 and $16. I ended up paying $121.11 after fees for 12 slimes. I placed my order on November 24th, and it arrived safely on November 30th. I was particularly excited about Slime Fantasies scents. On their website, the scent descriptions are so detailed and interesting. I couldn't wait to see how everything smelled. Cozy for Cocoa I could smell as soon as I pulled it out of the box. My package came with 2 separate kits that included care cards, mini bottles of activator, and candy. Each slime that had multiple components was tied up in its own little bag, which made it very easy to keep all the pieces together. First up is Surprise for Santa. I really love this slime. It is a thick and glossy DIY clay that smells exactly like Chips Ahoy chocolate chip cookies. It's incredible. The base is so soft and creamy. And the bubble pops are awesome. I love the little faux chocolate bits in it. You know when you're dipping cookies in milk and inevitably all sorts of little crumbs start floating around? It looks exactly like that, which I think is such a fun detail. The clay piece is beautiful and realistic and huge. That's a big cookie. It's incredibly soft and fun to tear. I had so much fun dipping the clay cookie into the milky base. It mixes into the base beautifully. The slime becomes soft and velvety after it's all combined. The texture is perfection. The final color is a nice light brown with flecks of those faux chips. Once it's all inflated, it's so soft and very sizzly. Next up is Snowy Christmas Morning. Teal and emerald green are my favorite colors, so when I saw this slime, I knew I had to have it. It's such a gorgeous shade of green. The scent is listed as freshly cut Christmas trees and is really nice. It's not too strong, definitely just like a pine tree. The texture is butter snow fizz. I was still pretty new to snow fizzes when I purchased this, and it was a little more exfoliating than I was expecting. I do like a snow fizz though, so it was a really nice experience. The holographic snowflakes are out of this world. They absolutely have some early 2000s vibes. I honestly could have sat and watched the color shift all day. They're so pretty, just like a real snowfall. It's not nearly as sharp as pine needles, but with the color and the scent, it reminded me a bit of collecting handfuls of pine needles as a kid. It is a very sizzly slime. The ASMR is very satisfying. I was really surprised how much I've gone back to play with this slime. All of the sensory aspects of it, I think, are just spot on. Next out of the box is Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. I honestly love the concept. It's such a unique Christmas slime, obviously based on the song of the same name. I thought it was cute and funny, and it was a Christmas theme that I didn't see anywhere else. The charms are top tier. I love the antlers and the bell, and of course, Grandma's glasses, all labeled as crime scene evidence. It smells so good. It's scented peach cobbler and definitely is more of a candle or lotion scent than realistic, but absolutely delightful. It's light and fruity and I love it. This is a cloud slime, mostly white, topped with some red. The red bled a bit, but that's expected. And honestly, it wasn't too bad, especially given that it took me 2 months to get around to playing with it. The slime mixes to create this beautiful pink cloud. I have to say, cloud slimes can be a bit frustrating if you're not used to them. See my struggle in my OG Slimes review. If you're new to cloud slimes, I highly recommend Slime Fantasies. This formula was a bit drier than I've experienced before, even after sitting so long. And the drizzles were slow and luxurious. They didn't take a lot of work to get going. No sweat was broken this time. I could honestly play with this one all day. 10 out of 10. Next up is Cranberry Crumble Crunch. I love cranberry. Cranberry jelly, cranberry and cookies. I need to make a cranberry crumble now. This is the holiday version of their best-selling Sweet Sticky Mango and Rice, which you'll see later in this review. I thought the color combo on this one was very unique. The Snow Fizz base isn't too densely packed. The jelly cube topping is a perfect cranberry color. So fun to squish the little cubes. I love how it feels like you're gently exfoliating your hands. Such a nice texture. And different actually than the Butter Snow Fizz in Snowy Christmas Morning. It actually feels less abrasive to me. Mixed together, the texture doesn't change too much, but is so lovely and crunchy. The smell is amazing. It's listed as cranberry cake with notes of tart cranberries and sweet cake. I personally would have loved for the scent to be a bit stronger. It was so unique. I definitely smelled hints of a sort of spiced holiday cake. Nutmeg or similar spices, along with the tart cranberries. It's such a pleasant combination that I really enjoyed. Very happy with this sizzly slime. Next, we have Waikiki Beach. Look at those gorgeous layers. How could I resist that? This slime is just so beautiful. I love the colors, and the pearls at the bottom make it feel like we're diving for lost treasure. I loved mixing it together. It reminded me so much of tropical waves crashing against the sand. The scent is listed as Tropical Paradise, with notes of fresh coconut and ripe tropical fruit. See what I mean about the descriptions? So good. It smells just like a pina colada, which was an absolute delight. The final color is this pleasant yellowish green. The final texture is a cloud cream that is very soft and has a nice sizzle. It's not my favorite texture just because I don't find it to be super interesting, especially compared to when the layers are separate. But if you like cloud creams, then I do think you'll be a fan of this one. Next, we have Gingerbread Cutie. This is a DIY snow butter that is creamy and doughy right out of the jar. It makes great, sharp bubble pops and is very fun to poke and stretch. The color is spot on to gingerbread dough, down to the brown flecks that look like spices. There's just so much attention to detail. The clay piece is also so detailed and adorable. I'm super bummed because I forgot to add the white icing slime that comes with this. I had big dreams of adding all the little icing details, so that's entirely my fault. Next time. Once mixed together, it becomes a bit more sizzly, but doesn't change the texture much. It's a solid, smooth, soft butter slime. The scent is gingerbread cookies and is very lovely. Accurate and delicious, just as you'd expect. Next is Snowy Ice Skating Day. This slime is just so gorgeous, I couldn't not get it. I grew up near a lake, and the neighborhood parents would always go out and clear snow from the ice for us to skate on in the winter. It absolutely gives off those vibes and made me feel a little bit nostalgic. The scent is really lovely. It's listed as crisp winter air and has notes of freshly chopped wood and eucalyptus. It absolutely has this fresh, calming scent. It's almost like you can smell pine trees on the breeze. Mixing it together was so beautiful and satisfying. It reminded me of a cloudy sky on a bright winter day. The texture is cloud and clear that mix together to create an icy. The texture is quite wet, but I actually thought it became less so as I mixed it together. It has some good crunches and pops that I thought were quite unique. They honestly reminded me of the sound of ice cracking. Next, we have honey buttered cornbread. Cornbread is another of my favorite foods, especially with honey butter, so I had to give this slime a try. The clay piece is beautiful, very realistic to look like a piece of cornbread. It also comes with a small container of clear, honey-colored slime. The color on my clay was starting to pool and separate a bit, but again, I imagine that's due to how long it was sitting. The base is a pale yellow clay slime that's lovely, semi-thick and very poppy. I did wait quite a long time to film this, so it was a little bit underactivated, but that's 100% my fault, not at all the creators. I was amazed at how soft the clay still was when I mixed it in. It created this wonderful, dense, holdable clay slime that inflated quite a bit. It sizzles a ton and continues to make bubble pops when inflated, which I loved. The scent is fresh baked cornbread with notes of creamy buttermilk and sweet confectioner's sugar. To me, it didn't have the distinct cornbread notes that I was hoping for, but I definitely thought it smelled like fresh sweet bread with notes of honey. Next up is Build Your Own Snowman. This is a white icy slime scented Snow Day, which is described as having notes of foresty pine, warm marshmallow, and fresh orange peel. I absolutely love the scent of this. It's very pleasant, fresh, and clean. The orange notes are definitely what stick out the most to me. I wonder if this exists as a candle, and if it does, I definitely want one. The texture itself was soft and a bit wet, but that's common with ices. It comes with a bag of charms, 2 sticks, 2 buttons, a little carrot, and a top hat. I love all of the charms. They're just so cute. I had so much fun building my own little snowman. I love how simple and effective this concept is. I really enjoyed playing with him and then squishing him down into an adorable little puddle. The next slime we have is Cozy with Cocoa, the 2022 version. This slime is described as a glossy clay that turns into a DIY butter when mixed. The base felt fairly thin, but may have been underactivated due to the time it took me to play with it. Regardless, I thought it was very nice for stretching and spreading. I did find a small hair in my clay piece. I have dogs, and it can be hard to keep slimes totally hair-free, but this one was pressed into the clay piece when I opened the sealed container. It looked maybe like an eyelash, something little like that. It wasn't a big deal, but in the interest of full disclosure, I wanted to be honest about that. The clay piece was so cute and detailed, with an adorable dusting of fake cocoa powder. The clay piece itself was one of the softest I've ever felt. I couldn't believe how well it smushed after sitting for so long. It was like folding whipped cream into hot chocolate. The scent is hot cocoa with notes of warm milk and creamy chocolate. This scent was so strong I could smell it the moment I opened the box. I find that I can be quite sensitive to smells though, and it really didn't bother me. It's such a lovely smell. Once mixed, it becomes a really lovely, silky butter slime that's so spreadable. As I've mentioned, butter slimes aren't my personal favorite, so this wasn't my favorite texture. But if you're into butter slimes, this one is really lovely. Next, we have Blackberry Cheesecake, yet another slime that I was excited about, mostly based on my love of foods. This slime is very aesthetically pleasing to me. The colors are beautiful and totally spot on for a blackberry cheesecake. I love the foam layer and think it adds the perfect amount of variety to the texture. The scent wasn't my favorite. It's listed as blackberry cheesecake with notes of fresh mixed berries and vanilla cream. It smells good, but it wasn't what I was expecting. A lot of the Slime Fantasies scents kind of have that lotion, perfume, or candle quality, so I don't know why I was expecting something realistic, but this is definitely more like a Blackberry Cheesecake Bath & Body Works lotion, rather than something you might have a wafting out of your kitchen. It's honestly still very pleasant, and is absolutely gorgeous to mix together. The slime becomes this really lovely dusty rose color and is so soft and sizzly as it inflates. Last, but certainly not least, we have one of Slime Fantasy's best sellers, Sweet Sticky Rice and Mango. I'll never forget the time I tried this dessert for real for the first time. I hadn't ever had anything like it, and I totally fell in love. So I just love the concept of this slime, and it really made me crave one of my favorite desserts. Snow Fizz is the perfect base texture to represent sweet sticky rice, and also one of my favorites. It's not too densely packed and so crunchy. The jelly cube topping looks just like a mango sauce. It honestly couldn't be any cuter. The scent is listed as sweet sticky rice and mango with notes of creamy coconut. I think it's absolutely spot on. The base smells so much like warm, cooked sticky rice. It has that almost savory hint that rice does, like you can almost smell the warmth with coconut undertones. The mango jellies smelled at first to me like piña colada, but then I caught the more distinctly mango notes. It's very similar in texture to the Cranberry Crumble Crunch. I love the texture of this one, the concept, the smell. I can absolutely see why it's one of their best sellers. Overall, I really enjoyed my order from Slime Fantasies. I appreciated so much what a good sale they had, and the concepts were a beautiful mixture of simple and unique. They definitely have something for everyone. I really enjoyed the packaging with the little organza bags. It's such a cute aesthetic. I think their logo is so colorful and eye-catching, and I like how all of their labels are consistent with one another, with this really cute, almost doodle aesthetic. Everything felt so high quality, from packaging to add-ins and textures. I will absolutely buy from them again someday. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.